Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today, How AI is Reshaping Business Communications. We're going to give it about another minute just to let a few more folks join in to the session, given we are right at the top of the hour. So while we wait, if anyone dialing in wanted to let me know where you're dialing in from today, that would be great. Curious where most people are from. I'm just outside of Boston on the East Coast. It was a little rainy yesterday, might be the same tomorrow. All right, we have some people from, let's see, South Carolina, Utah. We have people in Pittsburgh coming in. Nice spread across the country so far. New Jersey, where I was born and raised, excellent. Columbus, Arkansas. I don't think any duplicates so far. Awesome. So we are, again, about a minute after. So I think we can go ahead and get started. My name is Darius. I'm just going to be here hosting for you today. Again, how AI is reshaping business communications. Before we get started and I pass things over to our expert panel, I did want to go over a few housekeeping notes. No need to furiously note take during the session, as we will be recording this and sending it out after the fact. There are going to be instances of some polls throughout the presentation. So if you wouldn't mind engaging with those, particularly towards the end, if you wanted to speak with one of our GoTo experts or learn more about solutions that we could provide, that would be great. Additionally, there is a question area in the GoTo webinar experience. So at any point during the webinar presentation, feel free to drop a question in there. We'll try to asynchronously answer those throughout, but there will be a dedicated time for Q&A towards the end of the presentation, and we'll try to get to as many of the questions as possible with our given time today. And with that, I would like to first introduce and pass the baton over to Rusty Jensen, our VP of UCC Sales, to kick things off.
All right. Well, good morning for some of you, good afternoon for others. And it's actually great to be here. And so GoTo, we are your host and actually your use case in terms of talking about AI today. And we're very excited to be able to share a lot of things. I love artificial intelligence. I follow it every week. I'm one of those people that kind of watches the news every week on a YouTube. And we actually are doing some incredible things with it. And to kind of start with GoTo, just overall, I mean, we recently rebranded as GoTo, but you know, some people are like, hey, what does GoTo do? But to give you some context on us very quickly as we get in, is GoTo is actually kind of a combination of a lot of different technologies, both in communications and remote IT support. So if you know companies like LogMeIn on the IT support side, or Citrix, or on the contact center side, maybe companies like Jive for phone systems or Grasshopper for small business phone systems, we actually deal with communication and IT support across the board. And even GoToWebinar itself, which we're on now, that's from us. And so GoTo is really kind of your go-to for remote IT support and for communication tools. There's over 1 billion people a year that are logging into webinars and getting into meeting and messaging tools. And we actually log in to over 330 million different machines to help support devices that you see every day. So in the next slide, just to kind of give you some context as to why we're kind of a great use case is when we look at the two different portions of what we do. If you look on the right side, we do phone systems and customer engagement through SMS, and we're doing contact center interactions and meetings and webinars. There's a lot of conversations that are happening out there, a lot of call transcripts, a lot of things that are happening. And it gives us a phenomenal playground to be able to build tools where we can extract a lot of that data using AI and to be able to present and give information back to people very quickly and automate tasks that can really make a difference. And on the IT support side, just think of it as, if you think about all the devices, so PCs you see, phones you see, point of sale systems, you know, when somebody at a restaurant is taking your order on a different device, there's so many different devices, or even like menus or billboards that are up. When those things go wrong, somebody's got to fix it. So you got to call someone and they got to be able to look at the device. How's it performing? Do we need to reset it? Do we need to manage it? That's really the remote IT support side. So where a lot of this conversation, we're focusing a lot on the business communications, it's just important to see that. But AI from a product standpoint feeds into all of that. And we can use the power of AI to change a lot of how we do business in those areas. And it's really exciting to see. But even internally as a company, we're using it everywhere. We're using it in sales operations. I mean, I don't know if it's like that for you and your company, but almost every conversation is about how can we use AI to improve efficiency? How can we use AI to improve effectiveness? So we've actually put together a panel of experts that are internal here at GoTo, which is both from our perspective, from like a sales and an engineering perspective, and seeing what customers are needing with Ashley and I, as well as our product teams and even some internal teams like with Jess on how we're using AI. So I wanted to introduce this panel and have everybody introduce themselves and tell you why they're excited about AI. I think I've told you enough as to why I am. But we'll go ahead and just hand over to Jess if you want to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Rusty. Excited to be here. I'm Jessica Sill. I'm the Senior Director of Business Development here at GoTo. And I'm really looking forward to talking more about AI and some of its practical use cases. Over to you, Ashley.
Thanks so much, Jessica. Ashley Ellington, I'm Senior Solutions Consultant here at GoTo. I bring 5 years of experience as a solutions consultant, client-facing. So I've focused on UCaaS, ITSM, RMM, network monitoring, endpoint management. But I'm really excited and I'm grateful to have had the privilege of witnessing firsthand, the transformative power of AI. I'm really looking forward to, seeing the potential of generative AI and how it solves complex IT challenges and really just improving service delivery. Really excited to be here. And over to you, Gina.
Yeah, so Gina Weddy here. I'm in the product org, taking over the contact center solutions here at GoTo. I have got about 10 years experience in the customer experience space, and what makes me really excited is about the last year in the rate of change with generative AI that's brought on. I've been involved in some of the early text analytics and natural language processing solutions, but to see just how quickly change has happened is really exciting. So definitely excited to talk about some of that today with you all. And I'll turn it back over to our host, Darius.
Thank you so much, team. Thank you for being here. And to kick things off, we're actually going to ask everyone in the audience, if you don't mind, we're going to be launching a poll here. And it's multiple choice, select as many answers as apply. But we're really curious, what do you think AI can do for your business right now? Is it all about enhancing employee and team performance, improving insights, automating some of those customer interactions, summarizing meeting and call information, or automating follow-up tasks and next step actions? So we'll let that run for a few more seconds to get a good sense of where maybe most of you stand today. And we'll wrap this up in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I think we can close the poll and take a look at those results. Well, a pretty good spread, but some clear leaders. Ashley, I don't know if you have any thoughts from the input from our crowd today.
Yeah, absolutely, Darius. So yeah, looking at the numbers, it looks like automation and enhancing employee and team performance are going to be the top 2 hitters. Touching on the top, and I might touch on both just because it's such a close tie here. I'm not surprised that automation is a heavy hitter and then top of everyone's minds. The importance of automation, follow-up tasks, next steps by AI is a critical step really towards achieving operational excellence. Being able to track, completion of tasks, setting reminders, suggesting next steps based on project timelines is definitely top of mind, and really to just help from a scalability perspective as businesses continue to grow. And then also enhancing the employee and team performance. We're looking at complementing human capabilities rather than replacing them, but maybe automating some of those more mundane tasks. I see both of those going hand in hand, to be honest, but yeah, really makes sense here. Looking at boosting productivity also helps with employee satisfaction and engagement, complementing AI-driven tools.
Great, thank you, Ashley. And now to give all of our panel a bit more of the spotlight, let's start, Rusty, over to you. I'm hoping you can give us an overview of AI and if you could touch on why it's so transformative right now today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, artificial intelligence AI is a buzzword that we're all hearing for a long time. And part of the reason why we're hearing it for a long time is actually has been around in some form for a while. And really, when you think about AI, artificial intelligence, really at the root of it is a software program that's running on hardware, just like you would think of any other software program, but it's designed differently. It's written differently. Most software programs are kind of like a, I mean, I'm not a developer, so we're going to talk about an Excel spreadsheet, right? So if you do this, then this formula will output that. It's an if this happens, then do that type logical programming framework for software. And AI is really a totally different approach, which is instead of saying if this happens, then do that, it's really actually written and designed to do pattern recognition at the core, to be able to look at vast amounts of data and information and identify patterns, and then with that pattern, be able to produce an output or prediction. That's actually a lot of how our own intelligence works. So we kind of use our senses. So what we see, what we hear, what we feel, even at times our emotions, there's a little differentiator, but we take our senses and what we experience. And based on those experiences, we put it kind of in our own database, our knowledge and experience. We call it our experience. And we draw on that experience and we think about that experience. And our intelligence is the ability for us to reflect on our experiences and based on those experiences, make predictions so that we know when in a certain situation this thing might happen. And then we have the ability to articulate that through our training and learning process. So as we try to recognize patterns and it's wrong, we can recognize that and fix it later. We can get feedback from others, but we can also try to accomplish goals. And as we do it, we try to get to a goal and we learn through that process. And over time, we get better and better. And artificial intelligence is structured in the same way. They just have different kinds of senses. So instead of, their eyes, there's image processing and video processing technology. Instead of feel, it's robotics. Computer vision has the ability to, it also has the ability to recognize natural language and auditory and other inputs. So essentially we're giving AI some senses. And also they have a unique advantage. You can just upload a database of information, which we can't do. And they can comb through it at a rate that's much faster. But what AI then is trained to do is recognize those patterns and make predictions and generate the outputs. And then through the learning process, we can supervise AIs too. Hey, you got this wrong. So we can tell they got it wrong. We can also have it learn through unsupervised learning. So it can actually listen to different things that are going on or see different things and recognize patterns and keep improving its accuracy. And then also just reinforcement in terms of success builds on success. So AI is recognizing patterns, creating outputs, and learning is really what it's doing. And the reason why it's so transformative now is those things were very, it was very cursory in that, hey, we can recognize vast amounts of data and we can look at it and we can pull a lot of information out and recognize patterns. That was very useful. But only recently with some of the new LLMs is it able to generate it and create it and display it like we can. And even in some cases better than we can. That's what's so shocking is that the AI is advanced to that point and the applications are unbelievable in what it can do because it can go through so much information and have so many different simultaneous conversations about so many subjects from art and history all the way through computer programming, and it can actually generate it in a way that is consumable, useful, and impressive to us, and that's why it's changing everything. So that's my perspective on that. I don't know what you think, Gianna, but
Yeah, no, I love the analogy to human, right? Because it is mimicking our way of thinking, especially today, right? And I'm a mom of toddlers, so it's a lot of my time is spent nurturing my kids, training them, right, telling them what to do or what not to do. But it's really a lot like some of the traditional AI capabilities, before generative AI came along, right? It was there and it's very helpful, but it takes a lot of time to implement and there's a high cost. So, what I think is really transformational about the place where we're at now is that you basically get a child when you employ a new AI technology with generative AI that has the intelligence of a teenager or a young adult, right? And so your cost to implement that AI and maintain it and train it is vastly reduced, which also helps you to see the value quicker. So I love that part of where we are and how fast everything's changing.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rusty. Thank you, Gina. We do have another question. Jess, I'm curious on your perspective here about how are businesses actually using AI today?
Yeah, thanks, Darius. First, I think it's relevant to think about how we are personally using AI today. I think, a really easy example is ChatGPT, as most people are using it now. So essentially, it's just a very simple blank box where we type in our question and it delivers us an answer. Or for the many people that use Amazon, if we think about Amazon from a consumer standpoint, we see Amazon leveraging AI to summarize customer reviews, which I personally utilize all the time. So I really feel like because the user experience has changed and improved so much for us individually, it's really natural that it has changed for businesses as well, making it more approachable. Really than the days we use terms like, machine learning and data science. So when we think about businesses implementing AI platforms, because so many of us are already using AI in our personal lives, leaders of organizations are seemingly more open to bringing in AI platforms to really simplify daily tasks or alleviate, specific pain points. So a real life pain point for me is meeting fatigue. So a data point that I read is you need 15 minutes between meetings to give yourself a higher percentage of retaining the information. So an AI capability with GoTo as an example is call in meeting summaries. So being able to allow myself to be fully present in a meeting, listening and providing real-time feedback instead of focusing on taking notes is really a huge value add for someone like me who often doesn't have any time between meetings. And then additionally, really more specific to my wheelhouse, business development, the content creation and research capabilities AI provides is not only so incredibly easy because it already integrates into platforms we're already using, making it super familiar and easy to adopt, adds a ton of value as it allows my team to stay really customized at scale. So really giving my business development reps time back to reach more prospects, but still in a very customized way.
Yeah, these are really great points that you bring up, Jessica. I have a few points I'd like to add, sharing my perspective on this topic and really just further echoing your sentiment on AI's involvement around user experience and just how pivotal it has been to make AI more accessible and how that is able to revolutionize business operations. So really shifting towards more intuitive AI tools, to your point, platforms and models like GPT is democratizing AI usage and really personally, professionally enabling individuals and companies of all scales to harness its power without requiring any sort of specialized technical knowledge or hiring a data scientist to incorporate AI into their business practices. So this accessibility is really going to be a catalyst for innovation we'll continue to see. So the first point was really, AI accessibility. The second is, strategic insights, to your point, and I love that example, Jessica, of that 15-minute window between meetings to prepare and how we can leverage AI to help us, uncover more strategic insights, being able to look at a more strategic lens around, market positioning, or, for me personally as a solutions consultant, talking to customers in all various sectors, and that there's one sector that I'm not as familiar with. For example, in a past life, I, have experience in healthcare, so that's something that I'm very intimately familiar with. But if we're, maybe talking to someone in the automotive space, that's something that maybe I can be a bit more, to your point, present during the meeting because I've done a bit more research and I'm more now familiar and prepared for that meeting to help meet that customer's needs. So those are a few insights in my perspective around how we're actually, using AI from a business perspective today.
Hey, thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Ashley. We want to kick it back over to the audience for another poll. We're curious, what concerns you most about AI? You've heard our panel speak a little bit so far, but we're really curious if you had to rank one of these, which comes out on top. Is it accuracy, sort of the reliability of systems? Is it compliance? sort of acknowledging and adhering to various regulations wherever your locations may be? Is it customer experience, how AI might impact those interactions with your customers? Is it an ethical standpoint, and maybe your concerns lie around the potential misuse of AI? And finally, job security. So if, really taking a lens at the impact on employment and job stability. So we know it's tough to just sort of pick one. We're just trying to gauge the audience where things may be trending overall. And we'll leave this up for about another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think we can close out and take a look. All right, some interesting results. Gina, I'm curious if you have any insights looking at where the minds are at for our audience today.
Yeah, interesting. So ethical use, by far the leader there. So implications and potential misuse of AI, that's very appropriate. So I also touch on this with the in the customer experience world as well. I mean, we want to make sure that we're not leading internal folks on our teams, our business, right, or even our customers to knowing that they're not speaking with a bot or interacting with a bot, right? It is about making sure that AI is employed ethically and transparent to that user who's using it, right? So, and as Rusty was saying, these are you're making sure that the bot can be corrected if needed, right? And there's all sorts of guardrails that you can definitely put in place there. Accuracy looks like the next leading. So yeah, we are seeing some really great advances in the accuracy. So hopefully we can alleviate some of those concerns today. Compliance and kind of some of the job security too, and customer experience of it, right? I think it's all in how it's being used. So like a lot of other technological tools, they can be used for bad or responsibly and used for good. So I think we'll touch on most of these points later in the webinar as well.
Fantastic, thank you. We're curious, actually, maybe if you wanted to talk a little bit about some of the blockers or challenges when it comes to implementing AI.
Yeah, absolutely, Darius. So in my experience talking with customers, two of the primary hurdles that I see coming up in my customer conversations are 1, resources, and 2, education. So firstly, resources. What's it going to take for me to, invest? So that would be probably the first common blocker that I see to AI implementation is this perception that it's going to take, again, a large specialized team. However, the reality is that, depending on the AI tools and platforms that you're looking to leverage, there are certainly plenty that are now being designed with more user-friendly interfaces that don't necessitate some extensive, technical knowledge or expertise. And secondly, education. So one, becoming more familiar with those AI tools, and these 2 points really go hand in hand. But just giving yourself permission to become more acquainted helps to further demystify, what the AI tools are capable of and what the nuts and bolts really are going to be to practically implement AI tools into your business practices. And as part of that demystifying process, I'd love to share, with the team a few examples of how I've seen customers get quick wins with AI. The first, I draw attention to on the UCaaS side of the business, a couple of AI features that we've incorporated into our UCC products. First, from a customer engagement perspective, we have the ability to provide a messaging assistant that can give suggestions based on incoming messages that are prompting for your input, so kind of auto suggestions for your technicians. So that's helping to really automate responses to customers and kind of putting up guardrails, if you will, to minimize user error. And the second would be, around the contact center reporting. We now offer sentiment analysis and AI summaries for the chats and texts as well, because who has time from a scalability perspective to go and review hundreds and hundreds of calls that come in, every month. And then from the ITSG side of the business, I would call out Copilot. It's our new AI assistant in GoTo Resolve. This helps streamline device diagnostics and helps to automate note-taking for session recaps. Another benefit to using AI tools is helping to remove language barriers. So, now from an enterprise perspective, being able to look at tools that help to remove the barriers for communication across, different languages, and then also being able to further drive device resolutions, and also the proactive approach as well that we're seeing is to be able to avoid and sidestep future disruptions for our end users as well. So really, at the end of the day, these insights just help to provide immediate business impact that I've seen with the customers I speak with.
Those are really great points, Ashley, and I definitely agree with all of them. I would just add, in my experience, a big challenge can also be adoption. So AI platforms can be really amazing tools, but really, if not adopted and utilized properly, it can, like many platforms, cause more of a bottleneck in your process than actually really provide efficiency. So just doubling down and ensuring your team understands that this is a tool to really complement and support their current process, and just reminding them that this will ultimately increase their performance and operational efficiency.
Fantastic. Thank you for those insights, team. Now I think we'll pass things over to Gina. I'm curious, how will AI impact the customer experience, or how is it currently impacting it? Both probably in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks. So I would say, since the barriers to adopting AI have been lowered, as Ashley was just mentioning, right? You don't need that large team to implement these solutions anymore, and other business technology systems have really advanced to a good place to meet AI and produce really great, like fully autonomous customer experiences, right? So, for example, AI solutions can easily integrate with customer relationship management or CRM solutions and provide highly personalized experiences that deliver shockingly accurate results now, right? And these drive high customer satisfaction. So that's your number one goal, right, in the customer experience. And as we were saying earlier, the cost, the implementation, the accuracy has all improved there. So speech solutions too have also advanced really well. I'm sure we all remember, right, early days of calling into call centers or interacting with other speech solutions, and you're talking to a bot. But these have gotten to a really impressive level where they're able to sound very natural. They are able to detect different accents and dialects. So it can become really less apparent to your customers when they're interacting with a bot. And of course, we always want to make sure that we're making it obvious to the user that we're interacting with a virtual agent or a bot, right, for ethical reasons. But for that customer, the advance in natural language and personalization have made the experience so much smoother and less frustrating than the early days of chat or voice bots. So in all the costs and the effort of implementation have lowered, and the results are really much more promising, which all ultimately deliver a better and more cost-effective experience for the customer. So I don't know, Rusty, do you have any additional comments?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there's always this drive to be able to provide the best possible customer experience. I mean, that's a big part of how organizations differentiate themselves. So even beyond product, one of the biggest ways of being able to differentiate and really make connections with your customers is providing this phenomenal customer experience. And it's always balanced against cost. There's always this pressure on contact center and customer service organizations to like keep the cost down, but provide the best possible experience. And I really actually think that AI is truly going to unlock that for companies and organizations. Because, first of all, one thing is it will provide is great availability. So it's availability for communication. I can't tell you how frustrating it is when you go onto a website or somewhere and they just don't have the margins to be able to provide live customer service. And you're just like, I just need to talk to someone. Well, artificial intelligence will allow you to talk to someone, right? And to be able to provide that kind of core and get that type of experience. But also like in different languages and availability and time. And like not everybody is open 24/7. And especially for like people that own businesses, like you can't be available 24/7, but AI can create that availability. And I think that will help to extend that. It will also help to create scalability. So especially when you have variances in your business, where your main customer service groups are working with customers, but now the holidays are coming, or Mother's Day, or whatever it might be that's driving that scale, can leverage artificial intelligence systems to help improve scale, both by improving the effectiveness of the agents you have. So minimize these summarizations, minimize these after call work times, just cut that down so that we can actually get through more interactions. But also, like, it gives you the ability to scale that real personal touch. So those contact center humans that need to make connections with people that you're investing heavily in to give that ideal experience, those repeat calls, those repeat scenarios can be solved with AI when you, and then your core customer service can really help manage it. That's the second. And then the third is really on the optimization of cost. It actually will help a lot in doing that. Increasing contact deflection. Also being able to follow up on things you never would have been able to. Like if you're in an e-commerce business and you have a shopping cart, you can't have somebody call on that or notify on that, but AI can be more proactive, where you can actually do things you wouldn't be able to do before. So it's a better experience. People can get real answers quickly when they need them. But also when it comes to agent productivity, and supervisor productivity. If you're running a contact center, you can't listen to 100,000 calls or 50,000 calls or 5,000. I mean, I don't know. I can't get through 10. So the thing about it is if you can actually have a system that you can have going through all the transcripts and be able to look at it and see what's being said, how your agents are doing, what's going on. It gives you the insights you can use to act. So it's just tools and tools and tools. When you think about like agent productivity, right? If I'm going to try to have more customer interactions, if I can be guided through that interaction, if I have the ability to be able to get summary results of the interaction, if I can also have like follow-up emails and things, and summary notes composed for me and posted in the database, it's much faster for me to see what's going on and catch up on previous interactions when there's those summaries. So these are all types of things that I'm kind of going through. And, I wish I could actually tell you what we're working on, all the things, but what I can say is the things that are coming out already are just amazing. Like summarizing interactions, being able to post that data in databases, and just a lot of things that Ashley was talking about, and that's customer sentiment. It just gives you like a guide as to how to provide the best experience. But I'm gonna stop. But it's awesome.
Fantastic, thank you, team. And as we wind down our conversation, I wanted to pivot things back to you again, Jessica. I'm curious, what does the future of AI look like?
Yeah, Darius, thanks. I wish I knew, I wish I had a crystal ball, but some interesting insight I read is that AI is anticipated to become a $1.3 trillion market in 2032, which is like just within 8 years. And that 92% of top organizations are investing in AI. So I really would say that the importance of getting on board and really adopting AI into your business now is going to be in your organization's best interest. I really feel that as AI platforms evolve and become easier to adopt and use, companies will just become more inclined to embrace it and utilize it to help achieve their operational efficiencies, as well as really help them gain a competitive advantage.
Yeah, absolutely appreciate those insights, Jessica. And to your point, we're on the precipice of the AI revolution, right? We're strategically positioned now at this point in time in history, now more than ever, to adopt these tools. And there really is a need for businesses to future-proof their workforces. And this not only involves, reskilling, upskilling employees to work alongside AI, but also, fostering a continuous learning culture. But yeah, moving forward, businesses should definitely view AI as a partner in innovation, not as a replacement to their workforce, but looking to continue investing in education and training programs around AI, to better position their employees for the future of work. And to that point, leveraging business tools that are actively harnessing the power of AI is a great first step in doing that.
Fantastic, thank you, team. And thank you, everybody, Rusty, Gina, Ashley, and Jessica, for all your insights thus far. We're gonna pivot now to the Q&A section. We do have a couple coming in the queue. Again, we're taking questions for as long as our time is allotted today, so about 10 minutes or so. So if you have a question, get it in, we'll try to address it. First off, though, Gina, I think I'll toss one over to you. What are some of the big business use cases that you've seen that highlight the transformative change that, when partnering with the right vendor, could bring that the right AI capabilities can bring to the table?
Yeah, great question. So before, when Rusty and I were touching mainly on the customer experience, right? Since we're typically looking at those call centers as being the high cost centers, one of the biggest transformations can typically be had in the contact center in terms of integrating systems, deflecting calls, automating repetitive tasks, both for the customer and internally for you as well, right, in your business, as mentioned. So, and as we've highlighted today, it's not just about using AI for your customers, but for those internal operations. And so I think a business really needs to think about their maturity, right? And how your systems and your people and all of your operations are working together to really bring that AI, to use AI in transforming all parts of the business, right? Not just in one part or the other. So this is a kind of a general way of saying, assess the use cases that are most important to you in your business, and think about a program that kind of connects all of them through the technologies with a vendor that you're looking at selecting, as well as your operations of people, and be just mindful about how they're connected.
Fantastic, thank you, Tina. Rusty, I'm curious your thoughts. We've had a question come in. Somebody is referencing, according to HubSpot, they've done some research, and apparently many customers are preferring a hybrid approach. So AI during purchasing, but human interactions during customer service. And this trend is apparently increasing with millennials and Gen Z. So why do you think this is? But then I'll also add, do you think this is the case in your experience, or what trends might you see?
I think what you're saying, Darius, is that people don't like salespeople. That's what you're saying. So people would rather talk to an AI than talk to me. I get it. I hear it. It hurts, but no, actually, that's actually a really good point. And the fact is that when people want to go and they want to be able to acquire products and services, and they want to learn about products and services, they want to be able to do that on their own terms. People actually love to buy things, and they love to be given suggestions and recommendations, and to be shown the pathway of what's possible, but they want to walk the path they want to walk on. And a lot of times, actually, when you're working with sales teams and salespeople, like, there's that pressure, there's that push, and it's not, if people don't like to be sold, but they do love to buy, and that's actually a part of it. And they want to be able to get all the information that they need, right, going forward, and at their fingertips, so they can make a good decision. And AI is going to help a lot with that. And I think that's probably going to be some of the earlier adoptive use cases. Things like AIs that can answer any kind of question about a product and give you that factual information they can trust, right? Which is why we use people like Ashley, right? You get Rusty on the phone, and then you get somebody you can trust like Ashley, okay? And so that's kind of how that goes. But on the customer service side, when things don't go well, it has like a different emotion with it. So, when you want to go and buy something, acquire something, you want to learn about it, it's more of a learning situation. And being able to be guided is one way. When it comes to getting customer support, though, sometimes things don't go well. Like, there's money on the line. There's a bad experience. There's something happening, and I need help. And a lot of times, being able to reach out to a person that can just take care of it and can handle that is something that's just absolutely needed and will never fall. Like, that human connection and that need to know that, hey, somebody's there to pick you up and they've got you is what they want. But you also have to realize too that from a customer experience perspective, a lot of the automation to date isn't exactly fun to interact with. So press 1 for this, press 2 for that. No, you can't go talk to a person. No, like, say your credit card number 14 times to me. Like, that kind of experience, and then transfer the wrong, like, that is not fun. But I do think that as that gets, Gina kind of showed me a few things. Like, it's amazing what the new technology can do, and that will change and create scale. But that human connection just can't be replaced, especially in a support environment. And so what you'll see is you'll see more deflection, more automation, but then you'll see a lot of investment in the people and in the experience when you do get to a human. That's my perspective.
Fantastic, thank you, Rusty. Ashley, I know we spoke a little bit earlier in the presentation about it, but I'm curious, what emerging AI technologies do you believe will have the most significant impact on reshaping the landscape of business communications? Oh, I think we've lost your audio a bit.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, that's a really great question, Darius. To your points made earlier, I wish I had a crystal ball as far as what it actually is, but if I had to make a prediction, I would say both natural language processing and generative AI, particularly models like GPT, generative pre-trained transformers, those are going to be at the forefront of driving the efficiency and personalization, that we're looking at towards the future. And really the main pieces there are around personalization. Now more than ever, customers are beginning to expect seamless, responsive, and personalized interactions that are tailored really towards their use cases, in my experience. So as these two technologies continue to evolve and mature, that's really going to continue driving the business communication landscape forward.
Fantastic, thank you, Ashley. We do have just a couple minutes left, so be sure to get those questions again. Again, we'll try to get to at least 2 or 3 more in the time we have right now. Jessica, how are smaller and larger enterprises utilizing AI differently?
Thanks, Darius. I would say it really depends on the business challenge. Smaller companies often have different pain points than larger companies. So perhaps a smaller size company may utilize an AI platform to help with marketing or maybe administrative automation, while a larger company may have the need to use AI for predictive analytics or analyzing large volumes of data and then trying to pull really actionable insights, to Rusty's point earlier, that are really beyond human capacity. So many of these AI tools are so easy to use, and many simply integrate, like I mentioned before, with your already existing tech stack. So the need for a large part of your IT department to really manage it isn't super necessary. And then I would say as well, because the reach of AI at this point is so vast, it could really be a tool for any part of your business. So it's, whether small or large, can really make any leader of any department capable of kind of leading the charge of bringing AI into your business. Hopefully that answers the question there, Darius.
Perfect, thank you. I think it did a great answer. Gina, we do have a question around sort of GoTo and our own products, and someone is just curious, how are we leveraging some AI functionality in what we offer? I'm curious in your product world, whatever you're able to speak to, if you can shed some light on that.
Yeah, definitely. So I think GoTo's done a really great job of rallying around AI. We were sort of a latecomer to the game because we were watching and waiting to see when the right time would be to enter. So that time was definitely last year, right at the heels of generative AI technology, right, which has only been out for a little over a year, right? So we've done some great things. I mean, obviously, I can mostly speak about on the GoTo Connect side and contact center, but we're all in product and technology and through sales and marketing and every part of our org. We're really connecting together to make sure that we employ responsible AI and that our systems and our platform are matching across the board. So we've got some really great Copilot technologies and solutions across ITSG and GoTo Connect. We're helping to solve with everything from administrative tasks and that automation, but also going into the customer experience and our customer experience solutions through the contact center. So this year we're also launching a really great new AI add-on for the contact center solution. got a lot of great things coming in this Q1 release that's about to hit. So I'll just give a short plug there. Watch out for what's coming. But yeah, everything that Rusty was kind of touching on earlier with agent performance metrics and understanding, really helping to reduce that front and back office work for our customers. So we're just getting started is really the nugget to take away there.
Perfect.
I'd say
Thank you,
too is
Gina.
like just as a comment too, I've never seen technology progress so quickly ever. In all my years in software, I've never seen it move like this. It's cool. It's very cool.
Great.
Thanks, team. I do think we have just one final question, and I think Rusty, you lead, and then maybe Ashley, you jump in because I think you talked on this a little bit earlier. But we do have a question, a couple that I'm melding into one here around as we saw in the poll earlier, this sense of fear and this scary feeling around AI and what that means for job security, but then also from a business perspective, this fear of implementing it for whatever reason. What suggestions or perspectives do you have on a way to overcome that fear? And where might the hope through line be in that? I know we've talked a little bit about it, but curious, Rusty, if you wanted to summarize it a bit, and then maybe Ashley as well.
Yeah, you bet. I mean, and I think having a fear is healthy, especially when it kind of translates into a respect for the power of what it is. Okay. Because there are certainly going to be people that'll be using it for nefarious purposes. So we're going to see a lot of security issues related to it. We've already seen, like with some of the early, AI is just a little baby now, right? It's just a small, brand new thing, and it's going to become completely transformative. And what's happening today is, we're seeing things where there's like inaccurate data or different things are happening where things are concerning from a regulatory perspective, but even from like a jobs perspective, we can see its potential. It can do incredible things. But what I would say is, don't underestimate the power of what consumers demand and what we want as people. The economy will change from AI. Everything will change. The way we do work, the way we function, it's already changing. It will change. But it will also change into things where we will find new ways and new ways of doing things. Today, there's more software and automation and robotic automation and technology and manufacturing that has ever existed in the history of the earth. And it also has the lowest unemployment rate that's ever existed in the history of the earth. I would expect that this will generate a tremendous amount of improvements in our standard of living and how we operate, but we do need to learn how to work with it. It is not a fad. This is transformative. This is like the internet. This is like electricity. This is transformative, but it will actually open up a lot of opportunity as we go. We just need to respect it and make sure we spend a lot of time with it and work with organizations as you adopt AI that take it very seriously as we do. And to make sure that we're putting it into practice in a way that's fair, practical, and reasonable and protected.
Yeah, these are really great points that you bring up, Rusty. And to add to a few of those, to your point, fear is something to be listened to. It's not something to be very easily dismissed. To the point made earlier, AI is ubiquitous. It's that next era in the human history timeline. So it's here whether we want to acknowledge it or not. And so the point in time that we're at now, it's better to leverage that fear and transform that into curiosity. Let's get acquainted, let's get familiar with AI. How can we make this work for us? Keeping in mind security, keeping in mind data loss, things like that. So work alongside AI and, continue to foster that curiosity and continuous education and dedicating resources to, get curious and dive into the products.
Fantastic. Thank you, team. Again, across the board, thank you to all of our guests today, Rusty, Gina, Ashley, and Jessica, as well as all of our attendees. And we'll close out the presentation. Just if any of this conversation has piqued your interest, we're curious if you'd want to speak to a GoTo expert around some of the AI functionality or just around how our solutions work with those technologies. Feel free to leave an answer here. Again, the presentation has been recorded. We will send it out to you so you can poke through at your leisure and share with those colleagues or coworkers who may not have been able to join today. And we can go ahead and close out this poll in 3, 2, 1. And again, I just want to thank everybody for joining today and our esteemed panel.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Yes.
Thank you all so much.
Have a great day, everyone.
I appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Have a great day.